What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I regret to inform you that the Karens still can't take their L over Birds of Prey, and now they're using it to, I don't know, shame male directors. Essentially, it's an anti-male tweet that got a lot of traction because it's Twitter, and that's what Twitter does. I'm going to explain that. It might seem like a spicy take, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to try to explain why I said that and why I feel that was actually the intent, at least of the people liking and retweeting this. You see Carla here with a tweet saying men directing a film, and there's Harley Quinn from the Squad film, and then women directing film. And you see Harley Quinn more covered up. Except, first of all, I mean, first and foremost, there are plenty of spicy scenes in Birds of Prey. So I want to take that right away. Here, she's essentially wearing the same thing. You know, she's got the glitter or whatever on her arms, but she's essentially covered up the same amount. We can look at some of the photographs from the actual movie poster. I mean, this is just an invalid point. So have I made my point there that when you have a female, I mean, look at this. Female directing film, what's this? The idea that the female director is somehow, you know, any different than the male is absurd. Except, of course, unless we look at the box office. But we're going to get to that. Secondly, I want to point out that you can point out here is a tweet by the Critical Drinker. Very well respected. Men directing a film. Here's Chris Pine. Women directing a film. Chris Pine shirtless. You can make the exact same ridiculous argument, and it falls in on itself. You can see talented people directing a film, idiots directing a film. Also true. Now, interesting enough, now to further take on her point, this is from Birds of Prey. She's saying that it's just much more respectful to women, all right? That is the implication, at least of the people who are retweeting it. Well, what if I told you that the costume director on that film, on Birds of Prey, was a woman? Oopsie doopsie poopsie. I'm sorry, the costume director on the Squad film was a woman. So her tweet, then she goes on, and to further my point that she is just making some anti-male tweet, is it not by casualty that most of the misogynist and disagreeing comments are from men? Well, first of all, how dare you assume my gender? And you can see in here, nice cope, Karen. You know, it probably says more that the actress has no problem with this. The classic why white women deserve less. So I guess the female costume designer, Kate Howley, is actually misogynist. You know, which one made more money? Well, that's also interesting. Okay, we can look at the Squad film grossing $746 million against a total budget of $325 million. Now, you could argue that a lot of people really dislike this film. Okay, I'm not here to argue whether it was objectively good or bad. I think most people disliked it, while some truly did like it. It did appeal to some people. Regardless, the film did $746 million against $325 million in cost, including advertising and promotion, meaning it made $400 million. Birds of Prey, from what I can tell, lost money. Premiering in February, it grossed $191 million globally. Both figures are by far the lowest in DC Universe to date. Initially, it looked like Birds of Prey moderate budget would help it soften the blow. The movie cost $84.5 million to produce, and the general rule of thumb is that a film needs to earn twice its budget in order to break even. By that logic, Birds of Prey needs to gross approximately $170 million worldwide. All right, so there's an outside chance this movie broke even. or made a little bit of money. It depends. We never really find out what the actual budget is of films until far later. So I'm more apt to believe the reporting on The Squad because it was so many years ago, back in 2016. We'll find out Birds of Prey, you know, what they had for reshoots and all sorts of other budget that happened in it. But regardless, okay, let's say most charitably it made $25 million. So The Squad made $400 million. I mean, I can do this all day, Twitter, Karen. And then the replies in this tweet are delicious. All right, so let's just take a look. Let's have a little fun. Go through this. After now she changed her avatar to what, a resist icon apparently, and now she's supporting BLM. Oh, congratulations. Okay, so we know where this person is. I'm happy that they are advocating on Twitter. It's totally unique. Follow me and friends, and don't forget to stream Loki and WandaVision series in 2021. Like, I don't understand. She used this to promote her other Twitter. I wonder if this is somebody that works for Disney or something. I don't know. I mean, it's weird that, you know, they're promoting. Oh, look at this. Here's a popular reply by a guy named The Quartering on Twitter. I don't know if you're following him or not. Sometimes he has some spicy takes. One of these films was a spectacular flop. And that is true. Birds of Prey failed on many levels. Now, the reason Birds of Prey failed is more complex than woman director, obviously. The female director just didn't do a good job. Of course, there are excellent female directors out there. Of course, there are very poor male directors out there. It's about talent and not what's between your legs. That's what actual film goers care about, not Twitter. But it didn't help Birds of Prey. First of all, it had a horrendous title, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. Whatever idiot approved that title cost the movie $25 million. The fact that you didn't have Harley Quinn in the title until after the movie flopped acknowledged that you knew it was a mistake and probably cost you another $25 million. So the title alone probably cost you $50 million. The film itself was mildly enjoyed. I mean, most people I talked to said, yeah, the film had some kind of over-the-top moments, like 85-pound woman takes on 40 bad guys and overpowers them easily. I can be fine. I can always suspend reality to that. I mean, Marvel movies aren't exactly realistic either, but the marketing around this movie scared so many people off. Like, let's look at the entire Twitter population. It's about 330 million people, give or take. Let's say 100 million of them are actually relatively active. So, and half of them are men. And those people are seeing, this woman's not for you. And you see the director coming out that this is going to scare the heck out of misogynists. And you're going to see people saying, this is a true feminist film. What's that going to do to your average viewer? Not wanting to see a movie because you believe it's pushing an ideology, more importantly than being a good movie, is not being anti that ideology. That's just saying, I want to go to the film and enjoy the film. I don't want to be preached at. And, you know, from what I hear, when I saw the movie, it wasn't that bad with the preachiness. But the problem is, everyone wanted their woke points for free marketing ahead of time, and it submarined it. I mean, that's just literally what happened. I mean, all the garbage that came out with Terminator Woke Fate, all the interviews and what they did with casting hurt that film. Probably cost it another 25 to 50 million. You know, the bigger thing was obviously that nobody wanted that movie, and that Arnold was like a B character in the story. Nobody wanted to see Sarah Connor the movie, even though I think the actress is excellent and Sarah Connor is a strong female character that I often point to. I wasn't interested in Sarah Connor the movie ever, and nobody was, and that's why a lot of people didn't go to that movie. And then people would try to say, but look how good it rated on Rotten Tomatoes. Also understand this. The Squad existed at a time when you could get 145,000 reviews. Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey exists in a new world where Rotten Tomatoes scrubs negative reviews. It had 1/10 the amount of reviews and only had 1/3 of the viewership. Think about that, right? There were absolutely a lot of people that gave The Squad a bad score on Rotten Tomatoes who never saw the film. It was artificially deflated, of course. Now, the critics hated it too, but who cares about the critics? There's a lot of times critics don't like a movie and that they end up being good. The audience score is no longer the audience score. The audience score is a method of marketing that they use. We saw this happen with the Star Wars film, which remained at what, an 83% from it having 10 reviews to having 10,000 to having 50,000 reviews. That percentage never changed. That is a statistical impossibility. Yet people still try to point to Rotten Tomatoes as being accurate. They are a marketing tool of big corporations. That's who pays them. Remember, understand that the website Rotten Tomatoes sells movie tickets via Fandango. That's how they make their money. Don't ever think for a second that they are an accurate representation. Now, of course, reviews get brigaded even on other sites like Metacritic and Google reviews. It stinks. I actually strongly supported Rotten Tomatoes having rolled it out after the Captain Marvel debacle, rolling it out to say that, the only way your review would show was if you had purchased the ticket, which again also opens a door. We've talked about this before. Not saying I have any true evidence of it, but when a film has a marketing budget like Birds of Prey does of $100 million and only 15,000 reviews come through on audience scores, isn't it possible that you could buy 5,000 matinee tickets for $4 each or $5 each, right? That's only $25,000, and you could leave 5-star reviews for all of them. I'm just illustrating how easy it would be to point it out or to manipulate these scores if you're a big corporation. So there's messing with the numbers on both sides, but Twitter just shows its anti-male. Here's the 50 Shades of Grey director. Your tweet means nothing. Taylor Johnson, September 2010. One of the obviously spiciest movies of our time. Then you see box office comparison: 746 million, 201 million. The other women deserve so much better. She's going on. Yeah. Women directing a film versus men directing a film. Trying to say, oh, here, they're all covered up and here they're not. Again, this is a ridiculous point. Ridiculous. They're just cherry picking an argument and saying, oh, here's a spot where a woman was dressed spicy. And now all of a sudden, shouldn't have taken this role. This is literally Harley Quinn in the comics. Right. What do you want? I mean, that looks like an alternate cover to me. I mean, that's just me. Birds of Prey opening weekend male audience was shockingly 54% male. So men still turn it out. Here's Charlie blowing her out of the water. Oh, it looks like Critical Drinker stole this tweet. Busted. Charlie, women directing a film, men directing a film. I mean, you can make this point all day long. Right, because men are never viewed this way in comic book movies. Thor, Aquaman, Captain America, and Star-Lord here. I mean, exactly. It's ridiculous. It has nothing to do with the gender of the director, but you'll use this opportunity to bash men, so congratulations. I'm sure you've done a lot to help make sure we all go see the next female-directed Harley Quinn movie, because this is a perfect reason why I skipped it the last time. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.